Hey Clyde, today we're kicking off a brand new series called What If, where we're gonna look at science and faith and how the two might actually work together. Yes, that's right. Today we're talking about science. I know you might not exactly expect the topic to come up in church. Some of you love it, others not so much. But you might be wondering, why talk about science here? Well, this series asks questions like, what if science and faith can coexist? What if they actually help each other? What if learning more about one helps us understand God better? So let's find out. For a lot of people, science and faith seem like total opposites. You're either team science or you're team faith, but you're not both. So let's test that idea. All of these items here can be found in your house. We've got baking soda, vinegar, a little bit of dish soap, and some food coloring. And on their own, they don't really do much. But when we mix these ingredients together, we get something totally new. Nice. That's what happened when science and faith comes together. They're not enemies. They can actually work together to help us understand God's world more clearly. But I get it. This might not feel like a big deal now. Maybe you're like, Emily, I don't really have any questions. To you, I would say, not yet. You might not have questions yet, but as you get into high school or college, you're gonna get bigger and bigger questions. On the flip side, you might be sitting here thinking, Emily, I have so many questions. To you, I would say good. Questions are good. They help us grow. Curiosity expands our view of the world around us. So keep asking good questions. These questions might sound like, what if I learn something in science that doesn't match what I read in the Bible? Can I believe both? Here's some good news. Asking questions doesn't mean your faith is weak. In fact, some of the greatest scientists ever were also people of strong faith. Galileo, the father of science, also a Christian. Isaac Newton, you know, the gravity guy, Christian. And there are many modern examples as well. Mary Kenneth Keller, one of the first computer scientists, a nun. Katherine Johnson, NASA mathematician and follower of Jesus. See, science and faith aren't at war, they've often walked hand in hand. And just like our experiment, when faith and science mix, they don't explode, they expand our understanding. So how do we know that faith and science can work together? Let's look at the first words in the Bible. It says, in the beginning, God. Before anything else, there was God. Everything that exists flows from a creator. Everything we see around us, God created it all. And God said it was good. The writer of Genesis may not have given us every scientific detail, but we do get the most important truth. God is the creator. Maybe God didn't include every how because he wants us to explore, to wonder, to discover more about him through his creation. Think about your favorite song. In fact, take a moment, write it down on your note card, and share it later in your group. But your favorite song's lyrics tell a story about the musician who wrote it. The same is true about God. The more we study creation, the more we discover about our creator. The bottom line is, write this down, creation points to a creator. So when we're exploring science, we're not moving away from God, we're actually moving closer to him. So what do we do with this? If creation points to a creator, how should that change how we think? Number one is just be comfortable asking tough questions. God made your brain on purpose. He's not afraid of your questions, he welcomes them. Remember, questions help our faith grow stronger. So number two, learn about both God and science. Science shows us how creation works, and faith shows us who created it. So here's some fun science facts. Did you know that lightning is hotter than the surface of the sun? Astronauts actually grow a little bit in space because there's no gravity to compress their spine. Your brain generates enough electricity to power a light bulb. That's wild. When we learn more about the world, we learn more about the one who created it. So number three, talk to a trusted adult. Ask your small group leader, a parent, or a pastor when you have questions. They may not have all the answers, and that's okay. Faith and science both invite us to keep exploring. So this week, just start with one question. Where did you see God today? Look for glimpses of the Creator in his creation. Your small group is a great place to start. Be honest, ask questions, and learn together. So when you head to group today, talk about this. What's one thing in creation that reminds you of the Creator? Remember, science and faith aren't opposites. When we take a closer look, we see that both lead us to the same truth, that creation points us to a Creator. Collide, we love you. We'll see you next week.